what are the things that I'm going to discuss in this session? There are 5 areas that I want to speak about. First thing that I would want to speak about is who should be starting preparation for preliminary examination right now. For those of you who are like confident in mains, who are like, sir, I'm very well prepared. I have been preparing for 3-4 years, or I have been preparing for 2 years, and I'm very well prepared for mains. It's prelims which is bottleneck for me. We will start prelims preparation. We will start prelims preparation. That is, you people should be starting prelims preparation. Some of you who are very cautious, who are very cynical, say that this prelims is a lot of trouble, and without starting to focus on prelims, I remain discouraged. I remain demotivated. I feel that, sir, mains to मैं पढ़ लूंगा, but mains to I'll study, but prelims, what if I lose it by a few marks or something like that? So for those of you, you can start selectively, you can start prelims preparation selectively right now. But any one of you who is in GS Foundation program, no matter where you are, you're studying at Vajiraman Ravi, you're studying at Next IAS, you're studying at Level Up IAS, you're studying at Vision, you're studying anywhere, complete your GS Foundation classes. Don't and do it systematically. If mains things are going on, do mains there. If prelims things are going on, do prelims there. Don't leave your foundation preparation and jump onto prelims preparation right now. Don't do that. But again, who can do it? Someone who has been preparing for 2 years and has not been able to qualify pre and is substantially prepared for mains. वो भी शुरू कर, those people can start it. Some of you who may be very demotivated or discouraged, considering कि यार prelims is a bottleneck for me, prelims is something that will negatively that makes me keep me worried all the time, they can start with prelims preparation. In general, not everyone, but these people. Okay, so this is the first aspect, like who should be preparing for prelims. But even if you start prelims preparation right now, don't give up on mains. Don't give up on mains in the sense, don't give up on mains preparation. Even if you start preparing for prelims right now, ensure that every day you're finding some time, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, depending on how much time you want to dedicate for prelims. उसके बाद फिर भी कम से कम at least 3 hours or 4 hours or 5 hours you give for your mains preparation. At least one of the things, either optional or GS 1, 2, 3, 4 should be going on right now parallelly. Okay, so I hope I have answered the first part, ki like who should be preparing, or who should be starting preliminary examination preparation right now, and who should not be. Now, let's talk about prelims preparation. एक बात हुई, who should be preparing. Now, prelims preparation में what are the key things that we need to emphasize upon, we need to focus upon. देखो, in the entire if we consider the 3 stages of civil services examination, the most detailed study that we have to do, or most wide study that we have to do for preliminary examination. The reason being, there is no well-defined syllabus here. If you go to mains, you have syllabus very well specified. अगर आप जैसे I teach GS3. If I look at GS3, you go to syllabus of agriculture sector. There they have mentioned everything. Agri marketing and issues associated, food processing industries and associated issues. They have e-technology in the aid of farmers, but something like that is not mentioned for preliminary examination. And thus, it becomes very difficult to identify what are the things that we should be focused on, what are the things that we can ignore. So one thing that students end up doing is they end up in the absence of detailed proper syllabus being provided for, they end up reading this material or that material, this current affairs magazine, that current affairs magazine, this YouTuber giving you a 7-day strategy to finish the entire history or the entire geography or entire polity. We keep on running behind those things rather than focusing on basics. But in my experience, I've been teaching since last 8 years now. In my experience, the most important thing that you should prioritize is the basics. इसको like if for each of the subjects, history, geography, polity, economy, science, environment, history maybe history and modern India and art and culture could be segregated, could be separated, could be separated. In सबके ना focus on basic areas, not on value addition first. I see sometimes students market से कुछ समरी ले आएंगे मॉडर्न इंडिया की, उसे पढ़ रहे हैं rather than actually going through NCERT first. Or I'll see students spending a lot of time on current affairs of economy rather than understanding fundamentals first. और वो ना बहुत disastrous है. I'll tell you, some of the students will also tell this about me to you कि I have when I give feedback to students about how their performance in preliminary examination should improve, I first go through their attempted paper. Like if someone comes to me कि sir I haven't cleared prelims 2024 and I want your feedback, so rather than just talking to him, I look at what he did, what he attempted, where he failed, in the sense which are the questions he made wrong, which are the questions he made right, and in that analysis. So abhi tak, like I haven't been able to go through papers of many students this year. I've done it for 20-25 students, but now I'll be doing it for more students as I have some more time. One thing that I have noticed very clearly is students who are not clearing preliminary examinations are the students who are not good at the basics, things which are given in every standard book. They don't know that, and they have studied some value addition magazines or some they've watched YouTube video of like marathon video or some done things like that, but have not completed one standard basic source. So some of you may be studying DD Basu for polity, some of you may be studying Lakshmikant for polity. Ensure कोई एक भी चीज बहुत अच्छे से पढ़ी है एक बार end to end. This is the first thing that you should be prioritizing. Okay, I'll move ahead, but कुछ questions हैं. Please also recommend study hours for working aspirants. Some people say do mains first, some say do prelims first. What should be done? मैंने भी आपको mains ही बोला बेटा, है ना? But थोड़ा बैलेंस करके चल सकते हो, because now prelims is approaching. If you're very under confident about prelims, start giving some time for prelims. What should be the strategy for first attempter? बेटा first attempter हो तो अभी आपकी क्लासेस चल रही होंगी फाउंडेशन की, stick to that. Do not run behind other things. Follow your classes. If there are tests involved, follow the tests, revise them properly, go through your class notes properly, understand each and everything properly. Okay, यहाँ पे बाकी the strategy that we're discussing will be applicable for everyone. So first thing that you should do is, for every subject, one basic source should be properly done, and it is possible to do it. Over the next 6 months, we have around 6 months left, more than 6 months left for the examination. In this next 6 months, it's very much possible to complete standard source for anything. Okay, now standard sources may differ for different students. Some of you may be doing Lakshmikant, some of you may be doing DD Basu, some of you may be geography के लिए कुछ बच्चे NCERT पढ़ रहे होंगे, कुछ बच्चे कोई और सोर्स पढ़ रहे होंगे. The standard sources may differ, but आपको वो अच्छे से करना है. Now, then you may feel कि sir फिर what is the point of all the study material that's there in the market? See, study material or extra thing is, if needed, वैसे तो most of the time those are not needed, but if needed, they're needed after this. After this, what you should be doing? After, let's say आप ना modern India पढ़ रहे हो. Modern India में, if you are going through any book that you have been doing, आप बिपिन चंद्रा पढ़ रहे होगे modern India की, which starts from 1764, or you may be studying this Spectrum तो एक ना बहुत ही बल्कि बुक है, that should not be studied, but you may be using it. Fine, study it end to end. Go through it end to end. You will not be able to cram everything. Please note it carefully. You will not be able to ensure that हर चीज आपके टिप्स पे होगी. But क्या करना है? एक बार end to end study करो, read नहीं. Read karna and study karna are two different things. Reading is you're just leisurely reading it. Studying is you're going through a paragraph. If you're not able to understand something, you are doing some research. You're trying to ensure that you understand that entire chapter, entire paragraph, entire book. Study it once. In the second stage, what more to do? It will be decided by PYQs. देखिए, अगर आप DD बसु कर रहे हैं पॉलिटी के लिए, अगर आप लक्ष्मीकांत कर रहे हैं पॉलिटी के लिए, एनी वन ऑफ देम, और यू मे बी फॉलोइंग सम अदर सोर्सेस, देयर मे बी सम अदर बुक्स, जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल यू मे बी जस्ट गोइंग थ्रू योर क्लास नोट्स, आप जीएस फाउंडेशन कोर्स में होंगे कहीं और कोई बहुत अच्छा टीचर सिस्टमैटिकली पढ़ा रहा होगा, यू जस्ट गोइंग थ्रू योर क्लास नोट्स, दैट मे बी योर स्टैंडर्ड सोर्स, फाइन। उसके बाद क्या करना है? उसके बाद go through PYQs and ensure that you're in a position to answer all the PYQs for subjects like history. Last 30-40 years के भी PYQs देखो ना, क्या प्रॉब्लम है? Those things would not change. Go through those PYQs and any value addition that has to be made in case of, let's say, polity की बात कर रहे हैं. Polity में there will be two kinds of PYQs. One will be current affairs based. Ignore them. They're not relevant. They're not important. Current affairs of this year may be relevant and ये बहुत useful होता भी नहीं है. Other is fundamental concept based PYQ. Meaning of republic, fundamental rights, DPSPs, parliamentary procedures, emergency related provisions, and all those kind of things. Ensure that you have done a standard source. Now, this standard source can be your class notes also. Please do not assume that I'm recommending you these books. No. Standard source can be a class notes also. For example, अगर कोई art and culture पढ़ रहा है और निखिल सर से पढ़ा है, the notes that he provides is in itself like more than everything that you will need. He ensures that NCERT से relevant portion, बाकी standard books से relevant portion is there. So your class notes can be your standard source, your or the first source that you want to cover, or any standard book can be the first source that you want to cover. So you go through this and then come to PYQs. Now, how do we do PYQs? How do we do PYQs? They say get a PYQ book which has questions segregated yearly, topic wise segregation है. And when you are studying, let's say, fundamental rights wala chapter from DD Basu, from Lakshmikant, or from your class notes, go through that chapter and try to solve those PYQs. If you're not able to solve, suppose एक question आता है और आपको you are guessing its answer wrong, you're marking its answer wrong, go back to your notes, see, try to read your notes again for only for that section, for that small section. Either that concept is not there, that fact is not there, which amendment led to this change in the constitution, it's not there, add it in your standard source. It may be your class notes, it may be this book, add it there. Or this is what you should be doing. In this way, ensure that your standard source plus your PYQs, your standard source now has the content, or you have added it with content which can ensure that you can solve all the PYQs. Fine. सबसे पहले अपनी प्रिपरेशन में ये करना है, do not start running behind. ये कोर्स, वो कोर्स, ये वैल्यू एडिशन, वो वैल्यू एडिशन, नो, बिल्कुल नहीं. Students don't clear the exam just because they keep on running behind 10 different things rather than covering one thing properly, doing value addition with PYQ and revising it again. Revision will be very important. Revision will be very crucial. We'll talk about that. Okay, the first thing should be this, your standard source. That it can be anything. Please understand. देखो, when it comes to things like science and technology, मैं अपने बच्चों को बोलता हूं कि यार कोई स्टैंडर्ड सोर्स अवेलेबल नहीं है, आई विल प्रोवाइड यू एवरीथिंग दैट इज नीडेड फॉर प्रिपरेशन. ऐसे ही निखिल सर, व्हेन इट कम्स टू हिस्ट्री, ही सेज दैट द आर्ट एंड कल्चर, एंशिएंट मिडिवल कल्चर के जो पोर्शन बुक्स हैं, दैट आर दोज आर वेरी बल्की एंड हैव too much, like the books don't have proper flow and students find it very difficult to understand. So we provide those things in classes only. But again, I'm not here to sell you the course. I'm just telling you ki you may choose one thing, stick to it, revise it, do value addition. That's one aspect. Now, when we are analyzing PYQs for different subjects, or when we are going through PYQs and ensuring that the value addition that we make in our standard source is on the basis of the PYQs that we are not able to answer, there has to be something that you there has to be a certain understanding. That is, not every PYQ will be relevant. Like for history, every PYQ may be relevant. For geography, almost every PYQ will be relevant. For geography mapping also almost everything could be relevant. But when it comes to science and tech, अब science and tech में 2018 में the questions which have been asked, 2007 में the questions which have been asked, some of those questions may not be relevant at all and thus don't spend time on it. 2007 में GSAT कोई launch हुआ होगा, कोई PSL भी गया होगा. We do not have to worry about those satellites, those PSLV rockets. In the same way, in 2007, some act may have come, and in what do you call it, the environment, biodiversity and climate change में वो act discuss हो रहा होगा. हमें वो नहीं करना है. तो PYQ को एनालाइज करने का भी विल हैव टू डू इट वेरी सिलेक्टिवली. ensure that you're realizing ये तो basic concept है. This is a basic concept. This I should for sure understand. This kind of question I should for sure answer. This question is about a scheme which was launched in 2000. तो इसीलिए 2002 में पूछा हुआ है, 2003 में पूछा हुआ है. I do not have to worry about those schemes, those aspects in a lot of detail. Okay, I hope you get this aspect. Now, इसमें आता है अब current affairs. देखो, current affairs ना बहुत ही it can be something which can help in your preparation, or it can be something which can take you in the wrong direction. I'll tell you an example. I was looking at current affairs compilation for mains examination this year. मैं बच्चों को GS3 पढ़ाता हूँ, तो मैं इकोनॉमी के current affairs compilation देख रहा था मेंस के लिए. Right before mains examination, to ensure that my students do not have not missed anything in classes. What I found was most of these magazines, most of these current affairs magazines, they have been compiled by students or someone who do not have teaching experience, and thus have like 80% of the content was irrelevant. जो कभी UPSC पूछ ही नहीं सकता है, जो सिलेबस में है ही नहीं. 80% of content was that. And that is why what happens is, when you start relying on those current affairs magazines as such, you end up spending a lot of your effort and time on things which are not needed for examination. So, another thing is doing current affairs very selectively. I'm not recommending any program, any course as such, but क्योंकि current affairs compilation is not being done by teachers. Here at Level Up IAS, I do all the work myself, but in general, the compilations that happen, no teacher comes and says कि मैंने बनाया है पूरा. It has been done by a huge team of people who are doing different things. उनको अपने एक पेज का कंटेंट, दो पेज का कंटेंट देना है, उसके बेसिस पे पेमेंट मिलना है, and they just compile things without actually analyzing what has happened over the last 10 years or the last 20 years in examination, without analyzing PYQs, without analyzing syllabus properly. कुछ न्यूज में चल रहा है बहुत बड़ा सा, पढ़ा दो, उसके डिटेल में चले जाओ. That becomes a problem. So you jump on current affairs only after doing these things so that you understand. आप न्यूज़पेपर तो आप रोज रीड करेंगे ही for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 1 hour. But if you are doing some current affairs magazine, do it only after doing these two things so that you will be able to determine क्या important है, क्या नहीं है. When you have gone through PYQs, you understand what is the extent to which what is the depth to which depth in which a scheme can be asked. अब आप एक स्कीम में there are 10 different data and I see students cramming those data or going through that data again and again. In the magazines, this data is there and students spend a lot of time, students waste a lot of time because of that. But once you have analyzed these two things, once you know, once you are done with your basic preparation, once you're done with PYQs, anyways your 80% preparation is done. 20% preparation may happen because of current affairs. उसमें भी if you are done with first two part and if you do it selectively, in less time you'll be able to cover this aspect in a more effective manner. Okay, so these are the three things that we need to focus upon in order to ensure systematic preparation. Now, before I go ahead, I want to emphasize on one important aspect. देखो, sometimes no, जैसे when I used to prepare, तो one of the teachers used to say कि बच्चे district collector बनने के बजाय notes collector बन जाते हैं and they keep on collecting lots of content, lots of books without studying anything properly. note one thing, if this is the universe of knowledge which is there, you perhaps need to know, in UPSC preparation you perhaps need to know only this 0.01% of that, or perhaps even less than that. ये रेस्ट ऑफ द चीजें जानने की जरूरत नहीं है. रिमेनिंग 99.99% you do not need to know. But UPSC will ask most of the questions from here, but it may ask 10 questions from rest of the universe. वर्ल्ड टॉयलेट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन पे भी क्वेश्चन पूछा जा सकता है, एंड वो पूछ लेते हैं, राइट. बट the randomness here is huge. Randomness here is huge means when I say this 0.01% knowledge, it will give you 80% of the question or 90% of the question, and remaining universe of knowledge, it's huge. एक क्वेश्चन यहां से आ जाएगा, एक क्वेश्चन यहां से आ जाएगा, एक क्वेश्चन यहां से आ जाएगा, उनको कवर कर पाना इम्पॉसिबल होता है. तो अज्यूम कि एग्जामिनेशन हॉल में देयर विल बी 10 क्वेश्चंस व्हिच वी डू नॉट हैव टू आंसर. हमें छोड़ने हैं ही. Because if you would want to prepare for this, you will end up ruining preparation for 0.01% of the syllabus. So when you sometimes attempt some test series by some coaching institute or open test by a coaching institute, you find a few questions जिसके बारे में बहुत आइडिया ही नहीं, कुछ पता ही नहीं है. उसका सोल्यूशन देखो, आपको लगता है तो कुछ एकदम ही फ्रिंज एरिया पूछा हुआ है. डू नॉट स्पेंड अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम ऑन इट. Focus on what? When you are attempting those tests, or when you are reading something, focus on the basic areas. Like your fundamental rights का ये perspective भी है और मुझे नहीं आया. That is something that should make you worried. But in the Constitution of America, this article is related to which thing? Sometimes this kind of question is there. You ignore it. ऐसे बोलो कि क्वेश्चन पेपर बनाने वाले को पता ही नहीं है क्या बनाना चाहिए. ये भी आपका बहुत सारा समय बचाएगा. तो डोंट रन बिहाइंड नोइंग एवरीथिंग. मेक योर प्रिपरेशन सेलेक्टिव, मेक योर प्रिपरेशन बहुत कन्फाइंड, एंड रिवाइज दिस थिंग अगेन एंड अगेन. यूपीएससी प्रिलिमिनरी एग्जामिनेशन में हिस्ट्री में जितने क्वेश्चंस आते हैं जो डुएबल होते हैं, वो एनसीईआरटी से डुएबल हो जाते हैं. या फिर कोई एक अगर आप कोई भी एक स्टैंडर्ड बुक कर ले रहे हो, उससे बाकी डुएबल नहीं है, उनके चक्कर में यू डू नॉट end up ruining the preparation for things which are doable. Okay, keep that aspect in mind. Then another thing that I will tell you, देखो, I have given many attempts for civil services examination. मैं कई बार इंटरव्यूज में भी गया हूं, पर एक चीज which did not change from the first attempt to last attempt in preparation was, in any attempt I was not able to know more than 35 to 40 क्वेश्चंस करेक्ट. मतलब फॉर श्योर करेक्ट, कि जब मैंने अटेम्प्ट किया आई वाज लाइक 100% श्योर कि ये क्वेश्चंस तो करेक्ट है. इट वाज नेवर मोर देन 35 to 40. दिस इटसेल्फ इज अ ह्यूज नंबर. तो यू विल नेवर बी इन अ सिचुएशन वेयर यू आर श्योर अबाउट 60 क्वेश्चंस कि ये 60 क्वेश्चंस तो आई एम लाइक 100% श्योर. यू विल नेवर बी इन दैट पोजीशन. प्लीज नोट इट. तो वन मोर थिंग व्हेन योर प्रिपरेशन, तो देखो हम बेसिक्स प्रिपेयर करेंगे, अभी और भी चीजें डिस्कस करते हैं. हमें बेसिक्स प्रिपेयर करना है, हमें पीवाईक्यूज के बेस पे वैल्यू एडिशन भी करना है, एंड वी हैव टू डू करंट अफेयर्स वेरी सिलेक्टिवली. अच्छा, करंट अफेयर्स वेरी सिलेक्टिवली आई विल कम बैक, इफ आई विल कम बैक, लेट मी. तो वी हैव टू डू करंट अफेयर्स सिलेक्टिवली, एंड देन even after that in examination hall, in any test that we attempt, there will be 35 to 40 questions जो हमें आते होंगे, और 35 to 40% of the questions जो हमें आते होंगे. बाकी we will not know for sure. We will know two statements, will not know third statement, and so on. This would be with everyone, whether you are in the first attempt of preparation. अगर आप फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट में हो और पहली बार पढ़ रहे हो, प्रिपरेशन थोड़ा कम है, बट सिंसियर बच्चे हो, अच्छे से पढ़ाई करी है साल भर, यू विल सी परहैप्स 30 क्वेश्चंस आप फॉर श्योर कर पा रहे हो. बट जब प्रिपरेशन बहुत अच्छी भी हो जाती है ना, यू आर लाइक इन अ पोजिशन टू क्लियर प्रिलिमिनरी एग्जामिनेशन जस्ट लाइक दिस, तब भी 35 to 40 क्वेश्चन से ज्यादा 100% श्योर नहीं होते हो करेक्ट होगा. इट मीन्स फॉर रिमेनिंग क्वेश्चन you will have to do some guesswork. But guesswork को लोग पता है क्या मान लेते हैं? तुक्का या ट्रिक्स नहीं. You will be able to do good guesswork. Or sometimes when you make a question right, you think कि आपने तुक्के से सही कर दिया. नहीं. People who are experienced, people who have given more attempts, or these people are able to do better guesswork because they are better read, because they have understood the basic concepts properly, and because of the basic concepts they are sure कि यार these ये जो statement दिया है तो definitely wrong होगा. Let me eliminate this like this. है ना? तो rather than running behind tricks कि यार in pair based question let's mark B अगर कुछ नहीं आ रहा है. These are tricks which people create. We should not go behind that. We should go behind good preparation so that ये guesswork हम अच्छे से कर पाए. हम जिन क्वेश्चंस को हम बहुत अच्छे से नहीं जानते उसको भी सिंसियरली कर पाए, सही तरीके से कर पाए. ओके, तो दिस वाज अनदर थिंग. तो हाउ डू यू अटेम्प्ट दीज क्वेश्चंस? इन द इनिशियली you may make many of them wrong, but as your preparation improves, as your revision improves, you will see your accuracy in these questions will keep on improving, and this would come by attempting tests, more and more tests, more and more MCQs focused on PYQ. Okay, so you have to trust your preparation कि by the time you reach May 2025 you will be in a position to attempt around 80 to 90 questions. कई बार बच्चे ना ऐसा भी करते हैं कि वो 50 क्वेश्चंस अटेम्प्ट करके आ गए. सर मैं तो वो क्वेश्चंस अटेम्प्ट करके आया हूं जिसमें आई वाज very sure. That's not a good strategy. You should be attempting around 80 to 90 questions. That is something that you should be following. Okay, now this was the general strategy in overall preparation कि भाई हमें बेसिक्स पे फोकस करना है, स्टैंडर्ड एक सोर्स लेके उसे बहुत अच्छे से पढ़ना है, फिर we have to analyze PYQ and ensure that any value addition that we will make from our side in that source will be from the PYQs. This would ensure that your 80% preparation is done. Then comes the role of current affairs. Now, generally I recommend कि current affairs आप कैसे करो? After your basic preparation, but some of you may get very worried कि यार ये this will delay things a lot. So do it in a different way. What you do, आप मान लो polity खत्म कर रहे हो, basic preparation of polity, PYQs of polity. Then do current affairs of polity in a selective manner before jumping on to the next topic, before jumping on the next sequence. Now, ये हो गया. इसके बाद ना I'll come to second part. What methodology should be used in doing MCQs? Like how MCQs will help us in our preliminary examination preparation, और उसको I call LTR method. That is, MCQs help us in 3 different stages of our preliminary examination preparation. I call it LTR stages: learning stage, testing stage, revising stage. I'll talk about it, but before that let me quickly go through the questions which have been asked by students. Let me do that. Does Nikhil sir's history notes are different from prelims and mains, or they're very integrated in one? देखो, when we teach in prelims masters program, we will not give you notes for mains. That is, mains में ना हमें analysis करना होता है, mains में हमें theme based पढ़ाई करनी होती है. This is not the case with prelims. तो while the things that we'll cover in preliminary examination, things that Nikhil sir will cover in preliminary examination will be very useful for mains also, but those are not notes for mains. Mains में notes बहुत ही concise होते हैं. Mains में अगर सर आपको जब पढ़ाने आएंगे, he will cover 50 themes और 50 क्वेश्चन आंसर्स के फॉर्म में आपका मेंस का प्रिपरेशन होगा. That's not the case with prelims. Prelims में, as we know, कि syllabus is not that well defined, तो prelims की preparation के लिए थोड़ा सा elaborate पढ़ाई होता है. And sir, because sir wants to ensure कि सिर्फ एक सोर्स हो जिससे पूरी प्रिपरेशन हो, तो he also makes sure that different aspects from different books are included in the notes only. Okay. How ancient, medieval and art and culture simultaneously as mentioned in your course curriculum? यार आप लोग कोर्सेस की बात कर रहे हो, यहाँ पे मैं कोर्स के बारे में ज्यादा बात करना नहीं चाहता था, बट लेट मी, देखो यार, ancient, medieval, art and culture तो साथ में ही पढ़ना चाहिए ना. When you will study history of Harappan civilization, at that time only you should be looking at art and culture of Harappan civilization. This is how it happens. उसके बाद there will be some things which are not part of ancient medieval, for example folk theatre etc, वो separately पढ़ाया जाता है. Otherwise art and culture's preparation should be done with ancient medieval classes only. So in our preliminary examination, in our PMP batch also, while the primary emphasis is on art and culture, there's in prelims तो वो political history भी पूछ लेते हैं, यहाँ कौन सा king rule कर रहा था, those kind of things, those aspects are also taken care of. Can we build foundation using solely PMP handouts? You can do that, but एक चीज समझो, देखो जो प्रीलिम्स मास्टर्स प्रोग्राम है हमारा, दैट इज अ काइंड ऑफ क्रैश कोर्स जो बच्चों को 3 महीने में बहुत इफेक्टिवली प्रिपेयर कराता है. नाउ जनरली अ स्टूडेंट हु इज जस्ट बिगिनिंग हिज यूपीएससी प्रिपरेशन, वो आके पीएमपी के क्लास में बैठ जाएगा, इट्स नॉट अ गुड थिंग फॉर दैट स्टूडेंट. इफ यू हैव प्रिपेयर्ड इन द पास्ट एंड देन यू स्टार्ट वांट कि यार सर प्रिपरेशन तो किया है, आई हैव रेड थिंग्स, बट आई एम नॉट समवन हु हैज प्रॉपर नोट्स फॉर एवरीथिंग, क्या मैं पीएमपी पे रिलाई कर सकता हूं? यस, डेफिनेटली 100% कर सकते हो, बट इट शुड नॉट बी फॉर समवन जो बस अभी प्रिपरेशन शुरू करके आ रहा है कि पीएमपी में ही बैठ जाते हैं, उससे ही प्रिपरेशन होगा. पीएमपी इज नॉट फॉर देम. Sir, I'm first attempter and completed all lectures as I have started preparing earlier. What should be the strategy for remaining time? अच्छा, you're saying कि आपका GS फाउंडेशन हो गया है, और कहाँ गया ये क्वेश्चन? नहीं, I think she has deleted it. I'm eligible to attempt it 2026. Shall I take PMP program? You can take it. If you have some basic understanding of history, geography, polity, economy, you can take PMP. Sir, though no number of attempt in pre depends on paper, but based on recent trend, how many questions should be attempted? बेटा मैंने बताया around 80 to 90 questions should be attempted. Julius Caesar is asking कि sir, I had given prelims but failed to clear prelims twice. This time I'm doing foundation course from Forum IAS. How to approach? Should I rely on class notes or start standard books for prelims? बेटा देखो, it depends on how a teacher is teaching. तो मुझे पता नहीं आप जिस इंस्टीट्यूशन में पढ़ रहे हैं वहां पे कौन पढ़ाता है, कैसे पढ़ाता है, बट एवरी टीचर हैज अ डिफरेंट स्ट्रैटेजी. जैसे आई कैन टेल यू अबाउट लेवल अप आईएएस. जैसे मेरा स्ट्रैटेजी है कि आई डू नॉट फाइंड एनवायरनमेंट के लिए कोई बहुत स्टैंडर्ड अच्छा बुक, अपडेटेड बुक, तो मैं इंश्योर करता हूं कि क्लास नोट्स वुड बी इनफ. तो डिपेंड, आस्क योर टीचर जो आपको पढ़ा रहे हैं कि सर आपके क्लास नोट्स काफी हैं या मुझे कोई स्टैंडर्ड बुक भी फॉलो करनी है ना. ऐसे रैंडमली आई विल नॉट बी एबल टू आंसर. इट विल डिपेंड ऑन योर टीचर्स मेथड ऑफ टीचिंग. सर करंट अफेयर्स ऑफ 1 year will be suffice or prelims for prelims May 2024 to till April 2025? देखो बेटा, करंट अफेयर्स ऑफ 1 year 2 year नहीं होता है. क्या होता है ना, समथिंग मे बी 2 year old बट अ मेजर इशू, मेजर इवेंट, और वो क्लास में, वो एग्जाम में आ सकता है. एंड समथिंग मे बी जस्ट 2 months old बट it's so not relevant for your preparation and is not needed in the examination. तो आपको 1 साल का करंट अफेयर्स तो अच्छे से करना चाहिए, बट if you are, जैसे what I personally do in my classes, even if something is 3 year old but is relevant for the preparation, छोटा सा चीज होगा, उसे एक लाइन में हम बता देते हैं, so that students do not have to worry about क्या 2 साल पुरानी इंपॉर्टेंट चीज नहीं हो रखी होगी. We spoke about, what did we speak about? We spoke about what should be our strategy for studying. Standard book, doing value addition with PYQs, and then doing current affairs very selectively. First part is this. Second is using MCQs in our preparation. This is very crucial, very important. अब MCQs को ना हम we use MCQs in, Ragini, I'll talk about how to approach mocks here only in the MCQ section. Using MCQs in our preparation. MCQs को in our preparation we use at 3 different stages. First is the learning stage, when we are learning the subject. How do we use PYQs here? Here we use PYQs. Guys, अभी ना ये सारे doubts रोक के रखिए. I'll take doubts at the end and I'll try to answer all these questions there. Let me first complete this session. Let me first complete what I have planned to speak about, and then I'll take all these questions. तो MCQs को कैसे handle करना है? MCQs are useful in 3 different stages of our preparation, or we should be using MCQs in 3 different ways in our preparation. First is at the learning stage. Learning stage, when you are studying the subject. For example, let's say you're studying the chapter in NCERT about the drainage system of India, rivers, origin, tributaries, where do they fall, Arabian Sea or Indian Ocean, and so on. You're studying that. You study that chapter, and as part of your learning only, when you studied the chapter, you learned basic concepts. As part of your learning only, you do PYQs. आज तक रिवर्स पे जितने भी क्वेश्चंस आए हैं, attempt all of them. तो ये तो I spoke about this in the first part also, how we should be studying, and I'm speaking about this here also. Fine, this should be done as in learning stage only. Then here in learning stage only, one more thing you need to do. You need to do topic wise PYQs. There are different sources available. For example, if you study Lakshmikant for polity, then you will see Lakshmikant का एक objective polity का किताब आता है. Lakshmikant publishes a objective polity book where it has given chapter wise PYQs also. You do these PYQs in the process of your learning only. When you're done with chapter on historical development or a historical background, you go to that PYQ book and solve those 25-30 questions about historical background. When you're done with the chapter of fundamental rights, first finish its PYQ, do any value addition that is needed, and then as part of your learning only, you will do what? You will do topic wise more PYQs from different sources other than PYQs. Topic wise more MCQs from different sources other than PYQs. Okay, then so here subject wise, yeah, topic wise MCQs. What this will lead to is, I'll tell you, ऐसे ना, you keep on studying. Brahmaputra has this tributary, this is right bank tributary, this is left bank tributary, right bank, left bank, and you keep on cramming things. But when you attempt a question and you realize, याद नहीं आ रहा. And at that time, when you go back, after you have attempted the paper or after you have attempted the PYQ, you go back and look at that section. That remains with you for much longer period. And that will ensure आपका preparation बहुत systematically जा रहा है. And that will ensure that in your book, in your standard source, you're emphasizing on those areas from where PYQs or from where more MCQs could be made in an effective manner. So this is the first stage of using what? MCQs in your preparation. First stage is the learning stage, when you're learning the subject. At that time, when you're studying the subject, at that time, we'll use MCQs in two different ways. One, उस टॉपिक के सारे PYQs करो और अपने प्रिपरेशन में वैल्यू एडिशन करो. If you're going through NCERT drainage system वाला chapter, ensure that some river has been asked in the examination, it's not given in the NCERT. Some topic has been asked in the examination, it's not given in the NCERT. वहीं पे एक sticky note लगा के या वहीं पे एक page add करके note it down there as part of your learning process only. You're not able to do some PYQ, but it was given there. Highlight that again, mark that again, revise that again. Learning process में ही emphasize on those areas. Then, other than PYQs, find some more questions. There are different sources available for different things, different subjects. Find some more questions and do these questions also. Topic-wise MCQs, which will help you strengthen that topic, not subject-wise. आप पूरी geography के कोई question bank लाके नहीं करना है. Drainage system का करना है, climatology का करना है. When you complete one section, do its PYQs. When you complete other section, do its PYQs, and so on. Second is the testing stage. Testing stage. In testing stage, how do you use PYQs? Or not PYQs, how do you use MCQs? देखो यहाँ पे ना, in testing stage, there will again be two steps. One will be subject-wise tests. And second will be full syllabus test. I generally recommend students to start with subject-wise test. That is, आपने geography करना शुरू किया था in the learning phase. You did PYQs and you did topic-wise what? Topic-wise more PYQs. Topic-wise PYQs. This was geography का first learning stage. Then geography का second stage, testing stage. In testing stage, what you do? Subject wise test. Pick up test papers from the market. Subject wala test, not the full length tests. Full length test that sorry, not the full length test means not the full syllabus test that consists of everything. Just take geography test. Do it, attempt it, find flaws. Ab dekho, sometimes what happens in these subject wise tests also, irrelevant things get asked. Ignore it. Ignore those questions. Do not put in a lot of efforts. Focus on those 0.01% of the syllabus जिससे 80% of the questions आएंगे. वहां पे गलतियां नहीं करनी है, उसको strong करना है, उसको strengthen करना है. Do not focus on the fringe areas, fringe elements. That will unnecessarily divert you from your main focus. Okay, तो सब्जेक्ट वाइज टेस्ट आपको करने हैं सेकेंड स्टेज में, बट दिस विल बी योर टेस्टिंग स्टेज. हियर यू आर टेस्टिंग योर ज्योग्राफी प्रिपरेशन एंड इन द सेकेंड स्टेज ओनली. Here, after you have done with subject wise test for each of the subjects, so till February you should not be attempting full syllabus test. At least you should be doing subject, एक सब्जेक्ट शुरू करो, उसको कंप्लीट करो, उसका PYQ करो, उसके टॉपिक वाइज टेस्ट करो, देन उसके सब्जेक्ट वाइज टेस्ट करो. पूरे ज्योग्राफी का एक टेस्ट, पूरे मॉडर्न इंडिया का एक टेस्ट, पूरे आर्ट एंड कल्चर का एक टेस्ट, दो टेस्ट, तीन टेस्ट, वॉट एवर बैंडविड्थ यू हैव. पूरी पॉलिटी का एक टेस्ट, पूरे साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी का एक टेस्ट. दैट इज सब्जेक्ट वाइज टेस्ट. एंड वंस दिस इज डन, वंस यू हैव completed this part, once you feel कि यार I'm done with each of the subject properly, revise the entire syllabus again and then start doing full syllabus test. This full syllabus test is also part of your testing stage. Learning stage, testing stage. Then comes the last stage, which is the revision stage. In revision stage, I don't ask students ki or MCQs nikale. You have already done a lot of MCQs. Just revise your basic standard sources that you have studied and go through these MCQs again. Not all of them. बहुत सारे तो आप easily कर पाए थे from your notes. Anyways, you're revising notes. You'll be able to do those questions which were good, which were focused on basic areas and you were not able to do them properly in your either PYQ stage or topic wise MCQ stage or subjective wise test stage or full syllabus test stage. यहाँ पे last में you will do this revision. This will be the third stage. तो MCQs को अपनी प्रीलिम्स प्रिपरेशन में कैसे डालना है? MCQs को अपने प्रीलिम्स प्रिपरेशन में इन तीन स्टेजेस में डालना है. फर्स्ट स्टेज PYQ, टॉपिक वाइज MCQs. सेकेंड स्टेज सब्जेक्ट वाइज टेस्ट एंड फुल सिलेबस टेस्ट. थर्ड स्टेज रिवाइजिंग यही सारी चीजें and doing it properly. Now, a student has asked कि when we are attempting mock, what should be the strategy? यहाँ पे तो मैंने बताया कि how do we use MCQs in our preparation. But when we are attempting mock, what should be the strategy? This is a very crucial, important question, because sometimes not having a proper strategy for attempting mocks hamper our preparation. हम mock attempt करते हैं and then we spend the entire day in going through everything which we are not able to do, and in the process our schedule gets behind and this happens. So generally देखो, if you will be doing this, if you will be doing MCQs in this manner, first of all you will know which are the areas which are important, which are the areas which are relevant, and then when you are attempting mocks, आप सब बहुत अलग अलग इंस्टीट्यूशंस अलग अलग अपने मॉक प्रीलिम्स मॉक इनिशिएटिव्स लेके आते हैं. लेवल अप आईएएस आल्सो रन्स समीक्षा, which generally starts in May, but this year because exam is in May, we are planning to start it early. There will be 5 full syllabus test of GS and 5 full syllabus test of the CSAT also, so it would be starting somewhere in March, April. We'll announce it soon, but उसमें strategy क्या रहनी चाहिए? देखो, first thing that we should be clear about is before you go for these all India test, उससे पहले आपने अपने घर पे वो 3 stages पूरे किए हैं. Then when you are attempting this test, or here also, this mock test strategy will be applicable here also when you are doing this full syllabus test. सबसे पहले do these tests as if you are sitting in the examination 2 hours. I have seen some students who don't take these tests very seriously. वो बैठते हैं 1 घंटे में करते हैं, फिर होते हैं अरे ठीक है, easy question था या बेकार questions है. If you have decided to attempt a paper, do it the way you would have done it in the preliminary examination. With full sincerity, full honesty, एक एक क्वेश्चन को ध्यान से पढ़ना, एलिमिनेट करना, सारी करना. Else don't do it. Because when you develop this attitude of not taking things seriously in the test, you end up not taking things, or this attitude comes into play even when you are attempting prelims paper. मत होने देना. जब भी एक टेस्ट आप लेके बैठे हो, इंश्योर कि आप 9:30 to 11:30 के बीच में बैठ रहे हो जीएस का टेस्ट लेके, 2:30 to 4:30 के बीच में बैठ रहे हो सीसैट का टेस्ट लेके. whenever you do that, ensure that you are following that regimen properly. कि यार in 2 hours I have to complete it. Ensure that एक बार complete होने के बाद टाइम बच रहा है. This may happen in the final examination also. You are going through those questions for which you haven't filled the bubble, and don't get up before 2 hours. Do all the things that you would have done in your examination. This is the first part. Do not take it lightly. Do not develop an attitude जहां पे you are ignoring or you are taking these tests very lightly. चाहे पेपर कितना भी खराब हो, कितनी भी मिस्टेक्स हो, कितना, वहां जब बैठ गए हो, assume you are sitting in the UPSC examination hall. Second, आपने टेस्ट अटेम्प्ट किया 2 hours में. सेकेंड थिंग दैट यू शुड डू इज यू शुड कैलकुलेट आपका स्कोर क्या है. You may be doing well, you may not be doing well. Then the questions that you made wrong or did not attempt, go through them not because उस पे बहुत रिसर्च करना है. Go through them, like go through that question. You will only have 2 hours for this, 10 minutes for this, and 2 hours for this. You should not be giving more than 4 hours, 4.5 hours to a paper. अब देखो, जो क्वेश्चंस आपने गलत किए या फिर आपको आते ही नहीं थे, because you have done your preparation properly, you have covered standard sources, you have covered PYQs. In spite of that, when you made something wrong, if this something wrong was of some fundamental area, वापस अपने नोट्स में जाके वो एरिया मार्क करो, ये मैंने गलत कर दिया है, गलती नहीं होनी चाहिए, वो एरिया रिवाइज करो. एंश्योर करो कि फ्यूचर में you will not do that mistake again. In the same way, you may have done some attempting error. You were trying to mark B, but you marked C. In your head, you were thinking of answer to be D, but you marked A. उन सारी गलतियों को आइडेंटिफाई करो. एंश्योर करो in the next test you will not be doing. If you keep on doing these corrections, your attempt will improve. But then there will be some areas which are non-fundamental. वो कुछ भी उठा के पूछ लिया है क्योंकि उनके करंट अफेयर्स मैगजीन में था, उस इंस्टीट्यूशन के, उन्होंने उठा के कुछ भी घुस के पूछ लिया है. उसका बस सॉल्यूशन रीड करके छोड़ देना. Do not start sometimes what students end up doing is they start studying new material, they start adding more things. No, only do those things for basic areas, core areas. Don't do these things for fringe areas, because please understand, जो 99.9% of the knowledge है उसे मैं fringe area बोल रहा हूं. क्यों बोल रहा हूं? Because chances of overlap of questions from those areas is very less. Chances of overlap of questions from 0.01%, जिससे 80% the 0.01% of the syllabus from which we get 80% of the question. Chances of overlap from that area, from those portion is very high, and that is something that we need to emphasize upon. तो जो नॉन फंडामेंटल एरिया होता है ना, उसको बस पढ़ो, उसका सॉल्यूशन देखो, जितना समझ में आ जाता है ठीक है, अगर आपको लगता है कोई इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्ट है, if you can add it in your notes, add it and leave it. While revision in the third stage, you may look at in this third stage you may look at that PYQ again once, but do not do a lot of research. Do not try to spend an entire day in studying some new concept of science and technology which you think is very fringe and बस उनको पूछना था तो पूछ लिया है. Don't do that. Okay, so this should be, and you only take 2 hours for this evaluation, this investigation or introspection about what went wrong, what went right, what went wrong, and value addition in your notes. Not more than that. Do not spend days and days. अपनी proper strategy रखो पढ़ने की, and stick to that. So when you attempt the test, ensure कि you have 4-5 hours, 2 hours for seriously attempting the test, 10 minutes for evaluating it, and another 2 hours for going through the solution of it and understanding if there are some basic areas that you may have missed. Okay, so this was another part कि MCQs को हम अपने प्रिपरेशन में कैसे यूज करेंगे. Here I have tried to discuss two things: the LTR strategy, learning, testing, and revision. How in these 3 stages MCQs would be used, and then I briefly also spoke about what should be our strategy of attempting mock tests. Now, एक ना schedule वाला part भी. अब schedule ना is very. They've asked me कि sir, you should be giving a schedule to students, but please understand, every student is in a different stage of preparation. So making a common schedule for everyone is not possible, is not feasible. So schedule should be made by you people. But देखो, some of you may be very good in history and only need 5 days for it. And some of you may be very bad in science and tech and may want to give 15 days for it. Right? So that schedule will be decided by you. What I will tell you is this कि भाई ensure करो कि मार्च एंड तक 2025 तक you are done with your entire syllabus, so that April and May you are revising everything and attempting and doing this last stage of use of MCQs. Oh, sorry, second, this thing, full syllabus test stage of MCQs, because you should have completed the entire syllabus, you should have completed the PYQs, you should have completed topic-wise PYQs, topic-wise MCQs, and you should have also done subject-wise test. उसके बाद आएगा full syllabus test. Full syllabus test you should start doing it from 1st of April. Now, टाइम कितना लगेगा हर सब्जेक्ट के लिए, इट विल बी डिफरेंट फॉर डिफरेंट स्टूडेंट्स, बट प्लीज ट्राई टू इंश्योर दैट यू आर नॉट इग्नोरिंग एनीथिंग. in recent years what has happened is modern India से कम क्वेश्चंस आ रहे हैं, मॉडर्न इंडिया से 4-5-6 क्वेश्चंस आ रहे हैं. इट डजंट मीन दैट मॉडर्न इंडिया से कोई बहुत ज्यादा क्वेश्चंस नहीं आ सकते हैं. तो do not ignore any specific part of the syllabus. I remember 2018-19 तक बच्चे students had gone into that stage कि यार medieval India is not useful for examination, and suddenly that year from medieval India a lot of questions got asked and students were like गलत हो गया ये. So we should not be doing it. 2019 में specifically this happened. So try to complete every portion of the syllabus. Syllabus में we have this. Modern India, ancient medieval culture, geography, polity, economy, science, environment, international bodies. International relations पे बहुत ज्यादा ध्यान नहीं देना है. International bodies, and here with geography I also have mapping. And then some focus, like around 4-5 questions may also be asked from schemes related to social justice, women, children, education, elderlies, agriculture, industry. So a lot of these things you may be studying in this portion, like while studying geography or while studying economy, you may be studying it. But let's say last year 2-3 क्वेश्चन स्कीम से अलग से स्पेसिफिकली पूछे थे. We have to be properly prepared for it. Now again, how much time we should be giving for this section? So please understand, of the if I divide syllabus into 9 portion, सबसे ज्यादा क्वेश्चन शायद इनमें से इकोनॉमी में आएगा. But if I combine geography and environment together, you will have more number of questions from geography and environment. So ensure that you are very well prepared for economy, you are very well prepared for geography and environment. यहाँ पे गलत, क्योंकि more questions are getting asked. In the same way, now while the number of questions from ancient medieval culture are not that much, but ancient medieval culture, if properly prepared, like if you study ancient medieval culture with us in PMP, we will ensure that आप ऑलमोस्ट सारे क्वेश्चन सही करके आ रहे होगे. हम इतना इफेक्टिवली प्रिपेयर करेंगे. बट इफ यू डू नॉट प्रिपेयर इफेक्टिवली, यू कीप ऑन रीडिंग 100 डिफरेंट थिंग्स without actually creating a structure in your head, without understanding the theme properly, and even the basic questions appear difficult for you people. So try to avoid that. जनरली आपको इतना चीज मार्च 31 तक कंप्लीट करना है. 1st of April से we should be starting to attempt full length test. Before this also we should be attempting test, but subjective test, not subjective test, subject wise test or topic wise tests and PYQs. From 1st of April full syllabus test attempt करना है. So depending on, some of you may be very good in economy. Sir, economy में I am done, I need to spend more time on ancient medieval culture. Some of you would be very good at with history, geography, polity, but में से sir science कुछ नहीं आता. We need to spend more time with us. So for those of you, देखो जो हमारे साथ पढ़ने वाले हैं, मैं PMP की I'll talk about Prelims Masters program also a bit, because there are lots of questions related to Prelims Masters program. I'll speak about it too. बस मुझे एक दो चीजें और, एक लास्ट चीज और डिस्कस कर लेने दो. CSAT का क्या है? I want to put in my 1 or 2 points. देखो, one mistake that students do is, a student from engineering background thinks, I'll do only maths reasoning कर लेंगे, comprehension पे ध्यान नहीं देना. Wrong strategy. 2023 showed you UPSC made mathematics or quant so difficult that people who were doing comprehension, they were able to qualify, and even mathematics optional students failed. So there are some of my juniors from IIT Roorkee who had mathematics as optional and who failed because of poor performance in CSAT in 2023. In the same way, when we come to 2024, जिन बच्चों ने मैथ्स इग्नोर करके गए and only dependent on comprehension was a bit tricky in 2024. So prepare for both the aspect, English comprehension, math reasoning, both the aspect. Now देखो, aptitude is not something that you learn. Aptitude is something that you develop. Like हिस्ट्री आप बैठ के पढ़ोगे 2 महीने, कुछ चीजें रट लोगे, कर लोगे, बट CSAT नहीं होता ऐसा. You have to make CSAT a way of life. So for those of you who are poor at it, yaar, this is something. So we are from arts background, we left mathematics in class 10 and we hated mathematics even then. Make it a way of your life. A way of your life, make CSAT a way of your life. That is, every day 1 hour CSAT पे जा ही रहा है. Don't take it lightly. I have seen students ruining their years just because they took CSAT lightly. अभी से शुरू कर दो. आप मेंस की प्रिपरेशन कर रहे हो, आप प्रीलिम्स की प्रिपरेशन, doesn't matter. If you think CSAT has been a problem for you, go and attempt 2024 का question, and if in 2024 question you're scoring below, let's say 55-60 marks, you are bad at CSAT. 2024 का paper was an easy one. Make CSAT a part of your daily routine. Every day for 1 hour or 2 hours, you do CSAT. You may join some course, you may not join some course. That's different. But start thinking in the way in which a CSAT problem should be solved. Do PYQs like in now another thing that comes in CSAT is, देखो, in examination you do not have to solve every question, but when you are attempting PYQs at home, ensure that you are solving that question completely. In examination we look for the easy questions, but in our preparation stage we try to solve every question so that we develop methods. And if you do not have any strategy or something, we are coming up with a very detailed very elaborate CSAT course. We'll be coming up with a crash course also, which will be for students who are kind of prepared and who need just a quick, fast revision. And we're also coming up with a detailed foundation course for CSAT, which will have around 50 classes covering each and every nitty-gritties of CSAT. So more about CSAT, more things about CSAT would be spoken by Himanshi ma'am in the coming classes. Now, let's come to the Prelims Masters program. Let me briefly speak about the Prelims Masters program, the key features of the Prelims Masters program. Dekho, this year we have a PMP program. We also have PMP Plus. What is PMP Plus? PMP Plus mein you also get CSAT classes. So you will also get the CSAT course. So वैसे CSAT course independently may be costing you 8,000, 10,000 rupees, but here only by addition of 5,000 rupees you will be able to get it. Now, what is Prelims Masters program? Prelims Masters program is our prelim specific program. We are forced to start a batch in November this year because of lots of queries. Everyone had been calling us, PMP kab shuru ho raha hai, PMP kab shuru ho raha hai, PMP kab shuru ho raha hai, and we therefore have announced a batch which will be starting on 22nd November. Now, if you are coming and doing PMP, what we'll do over the next 3 months in around 70 to 80 classes, Sunday off rahega, in 70 to 80 classes, we will complete your entire syllabus for prelims. Entire syllabus for prelims. CSAT का थोड़ा extend हो सकता है, even like CSAT तो I'm asking ma'am कि हर week 2-3 classes लेके ensure करो कि students एकदम streamlined हो and they're practicing. But your this portion, DS wala portion will be completed by end of February for the batch which is starting on 22nd November. Now, what will we be doing? Everything that is needed for your preparation. You will not have to worry about anything. हम basic preparation पे पूरा focus कर रहे हैं. हम उस पे current affairs emphasize कर रहे हैं. Like current affairs में science, environment, economy, international bodies, mapping, इसका तो पूरा current affairs मैं ही आपको कराऊंगा. And I'll ensure कि even after March, let's say, जो updates हो रहे हैं मैं आपको देता रहूंगा in the form of videos, in the form of notes. तो your entire prelims preparation would be taken care of. यहाँ पे ancient medieval culture will be taught by Nikhil sir. Modern India will be taught by Vishal sir. Akhilesh Srivastav sir will be teaching you geography. Babu sir will be teaching you polity. आपको साइंस एनवायरमेंट इकोनॉमी का प्रिपरेशन मैं कराऊंगा. मेरा नाम संतोष कुमार है. नाउ इफ यू हैव एक्सपीरियंस विद लेवल अप आईएएस और इफ यू हैव स्पोकन विद योर फ्रेंड्स एट लेवल अप आईएएस, दे विल टेल यू उनकी क्लासेस कर लो एंड दे विल इंश्योर दैट आपका प्रिपरेशन बहुत सिस्टमैटिक होगा. यस, this is the feedback that we have also got. We will ensure agar you do not have basic preparation done, or if you are not confident, if you do not have proper notes to revise, your preparation is haphazard, come and join our Prelims Masters program. Every day 5 classes, Sunday ko ek test, till your final examination, till your preliminary examination. Plus, so what will we do? We'll take classes, we'll provide you notes, we'll do PYQs in classes, ensuring आप systematically समझ हमारे नोट्स भी PYQ से अलाइन है और आपकी प्रिपरेशन भी PYQ से अलाइन है. देन एवरी वीक यू हैव अ टेस्ट. तो टेस्ट सीरीज इज आल्सो इंक्लूडेड इन इट. We'll have subject wise test and then we'll also have full length test, and these tests will continue till the second last week, that is till mid May. It will continue like this, every Sunday test. Then at the end we'll also have, so I was talking about PMP mein what are the things that we are going to have? We are going to have classes, proper detailed classes along with exhaustive class notes for some things like एंशियंट मिडिवल कल्चर के लिए आपको कुछ और नहीं पढ़ना, साइंस के लिए कुछ नहीं पढ़ना, एनवायरनमेंट के लिए कुछ नहीं पढ़ना, इकोनॉमी के लिए कुछ नहीं पढ़ना, और आपको इंटरनेशनल बॉडीज के लिए कुछ नहीं पढ़ना, आपको इसके लिए कुछ नहीं पढ़ना. बट फॉर सम सब्जेक्ट्स टीचर्स मे रिकमेंड यू, लाइक आई डू नॉट नो व्हाट बाबू सर स्ट्रेटजी वुड बी, तो ही वुड आल्सो गिव डिटेल्ड नोट्स, बट whether he is going to recommend you to read some part of Lakshmikant or not, I'm not sure. I'll have to speak with him. But some areas जहाँ पे कोई standard source available ही नहीं है, जैसे ancient medieval culture के लिए most of the culture books in the market are full of useless facts. We have ensured that you have detailed coverage for science and technology. I myself would ensure that everything which is needed for your preparation, from your basics to the current affairs, to the relevant current affairs, would be done here. For environment, same, that would be the case. So classes होंगे, class notes होंगे, इसी में will also do PYQs. Then every week there will be tests. This may start sometimes late, एक महीने बाद शुरू होगा, पर फिर लगातार चलता रहेगा. And in the third stage, we also have RTFQ, revise through 500 questions. In revise through 500 questions, what we do, we revise the entire syllabus for every subject through 500 questions. So we'll solve 500 questions for science, we'll solve 500 questions for environment, we'll solve 500 questions for polity, we'll solve 500 questions for geography, we'll solve 500 questions for history, and so on. So that एक बार आपने पढ़ा, आपने क्लास नोट्स रिवाइज करे, आपने PYQs किए, in the weekends you are doing tests. These tests will be initially subject wise, topic wise, subject wise, and then it will be full syllabus test. We'll also have CSAT test here, and in the last 2 months we will do RTFQ. You have completed everything, you have completed your notes, you have completed PYQs, you have completed these tests, fine. Let us sit in class, in 2 hours let's solve 100 questions, in 10 hours let's solve 500 questions, revise the entire syllabus with the help of these 500 questions for every subject. So if there are 6 subjects, last year we solved 3000 questions live, through which students got benefited. They understood कि यार कैसे ट्रिक से क्वेश्चन सॉल्व होंगे. They understood कि okay, we had gone through classes, we had gone through notes, but still there were some fundamental things that we were making mistakes on. Through this RTFQ section, that got improved, that got better. So this will be an all comprehensive program, making sure that everything that you need for your prelims preparation would be done here.